Man.
Win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Mike. Welcome to the show.
I'm Jim.
Lovely to have you here today on this fine day. Oh, I got the question of the day.
Okay.
So I'm dieting, and the new go-to is Greek yogurt, which I despise most dairy. It's literally just for nutrition. I don't despise, but I don't love. You know, some people are like, I love yogurt. Yeah. And then sprinkle of chocolate chips.
Mm-hmm.
And then apples.
Okay.
And I was talking to Vili about that.
Uh-huh.
And there's a billion fucking apples in this world.
Yeah.
What apple do I buy? I like the blue-red mix, right? That's kind of the sweet-sour mix, I feel like. Like they're not like bright red is like kind of weird to me.
Uh-huh.
But the issue is I don't know which kind I've been buying, but they're very medium-sized. And I'm trying to get a honker.
Oh, there aren't any good big apples as far as I'm concerned, unless they're green, in which case
I don't mind a Smith deal.
Yeah, Granny Smith.
A Mrs. Smith. I don't mind her.
Granny Smith.
Those are good, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good with my fat-free yogurt because the yogurt's already puckery.
A little tart.
Yeah. And then, the big red ones suck, right? Like the fucking, what's her name? Not Cinderella. Whoever got that apple? Snow White? Who got the apple?
Sleeping Beauty.
Whatever lady got that apple got a shit apple. I did find these like fucking, it's like a grape-sized apple, and they bang.
It's
Snow White.
Snow White.
They're all the same, dude.
Oh, right.
They're all the same.
It's all about putting ladies to sleep who didn't want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know if we
Which
should.
seems very...
It does, but we can't cancel Cinderella.
I don't know. I feel like I can cancel anybody I want because my cancellations don't really carry that much weight.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them do. That's
none of them do.
Day.
None of them do.
The
cancel culture doesn't exist. Suck it. Anyway, go on.
The baby, I don't know what. It's tiny, and it's fucking so good. But if you would take the core out, it's literally one bite. It's so small. I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
But it's fucking so good. And so I tweeted it out, and I didn't really get that many answers. Maybe people don't eat apples anymore. They're all unhealthy. Honeycrisp was an answer.
Honeycrisp is a really good.
And they say they get kind of big.
Medium. I think they get very medium.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need a watermelon size, but I just need enough that I can dip it in.
What about just a watermelon?
Not enough flavor. I don't like yogurt. I'm trying to mask this shit. And the other thing, one of my weird loves is caramel apple dipped in chocolate. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Like most people are like, yeah, that's good. But like I love it.
So wait a minute. So is it a caramel apple that is then dipped in chocolate, or is it an apple that's dipped in chocolate?
Either, but I like fancy caramel apples. Like Disneyland has banging ones.
Yeah,
we have them in Old Sac.
Yeah.
And like typically, I feel like it's a Halloween deal to do all that. Mm-hmm. I'll be driving over there on a random weekend to get me a caramel apple. I don't know why. But it is, I think, mostly the chocolate apple mix is good. And so that's what this. And then I'm just using the yogurt as like a protein. I'm just trying to get some chocolate apple taste.
I got it. I keep going because I have a terrible thing to wrench to throw in your whole plan.
Oh no, because like all right, so because then there's Fuji. I feel like Fuji's
are good.
Mrs. Smith, and then what's the red one?
Red Delicious.
I feel like those are like the three tiers.
Yeah, but Red Delicious are boring.
They're not that good.
No, they can get mealy really fast.
I don't know what that word means, but I feel like they're very brown.
Mealy is like the texture's wrong.
Yeah. Because they turn brownie or bruised.
They're sort of dry.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah.
I guess if you actually dried those, like dried apples or whatever, that's good. Dried?
Yeah.
Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Why does that not sound right?
Yeah, dried apples.
Yeah, like dried fruit.
Dried fruit, yeah.
That's good. In the all red one.
Yeah.
But I'm not eating that normal. And then the Fujis I've been getting turn brown kind of quick. They're not that big and they're just not that flavorful. They're okay.
Well, apples have a season.
True. But 2022, I don't believe that anymore. Send me an apple from, I don't know where, Mars. I don't give a shit. Yeah, they're so GMO'd. Light me up.
So, For one thing, a lot of the Greek yogurt that we can get in the store is not really Greek yogurt.
For sure. I use Fage.
Yeah.
I believe I eat that just because the macros are good. No, I don't even know what Greek yogurt is. That's kind of like this gelato ice cream deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure 80% of gelatos running around aren't even gelato.
Yeah, that's just isn't the issue of gelato just how much air and how much milk fat is in them?
I thought it was a cream to milk ratio on the making.
Okay.
Like ice cream's more milk made, and gelato tends to be more cream made. I may be incorrect, and that made the texture-y difference.
So, what was that?
Eggs.
Gelato has eggs. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
something like that.
That's a good point. Yeah, Greek yogurt though, like they dump whey acid in the process of removing the
fat.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, if it helps my biceps, give me more whey acid.
Yeah, but it's like
inject it.
environmentally
not
good.
Yeah, I don't doubt
not
it.
good.
I
also don't like Greek yogurt that much. I mean, the only way that I can really down Greek yogurt is with like you take a chocolate protein powder and mix it together, and you get kind of a
That's what I'm doing. I'm doing fucking milk chocolate chips in that
tangy, or the syrups, like the sugar-free syrups,
or the packets where they have some of that on the side.
Yeah,
some like weird jelly shit. That's my point though. Is I don't like any yogurt, so then I don't mind that it's a whey gush, like it's 20% or 20 grams of protein and like 8 grams of carbs and nothing else.
Yeah.
I'm eating a protein shake.
essentially.
Yeah, and I hate protein shakes, so I'd rather do this concoction.
Yeah.
But then we have the apple issue.
Yeah. Although if you want to sponsor us with a protein shake with money,
It better be good.
Michael will like them.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll drink it. I'll talk about it.
You don't have to drink it on the show.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hop back in about World's Strongest Man, CrossFit Games, and everything happening in the strength world. Catch you in a second. How about the Elvis Presley movie? That's kind of an Elvis. No?
A little bit.
Kinda?
Yeah, a little bit.
Who's the actor? I was going nuts. I was on a...
Elvis was the actor.
There's a movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. It's the Baz Luhrmann movie. With,
I don't know. I was just talking about actors today, and there's so
Yeah.
many actors that piss me off. Homeboy in... he's in Dumbledore, and then he's in something else. Fuck. Ezra is his acting name. That's his real name. He pisses me off. There's another one that pisses me off. The main guy.
Ezra Miller, the guy who's playing the...
Don't like him. Don't like...
Well, nobody likes him currently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's very much on the out at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
He keeps getting arrested.
Oh, I do know he slapped a lady. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, he's been arrested for substance abuse related crimes.
Yeah, I know he locked a lady in a room. I don't know if his girlfriend or what, because I don't know if he goes that way. But he slapped her or something. And then, but just looking at his face, it's like, people say punchable face. He has a head-buttable face. He just looks so Weasley. I don't like that. And then I don't like the main guy, and it's maybe because I don't like the movie, but I don't like the main guy in all the new Harry Potters, the beasts and the mythic beasties.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, I don't like Eddie. Sorry, bud.
I'm okay with Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's him. There's something about his face as well, but it's also the movie.
I haven't seen the most recent movie. I saw the first one of those and liked it. I saw the second one and I thought it was not great.
I didn't even like the first one, and you know me, I want to like these things. I really do.
Yeah.
But if the vibe's off, I just can't. I don't even care about the plot and the story. I don't, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if the vibe, it's more of a vibe, and I know that sounds like a Gen Z type description here, but if the vibe's not there, I'm not fucking watching.
You're not about it.
I can't continue.
Austin Butler is the guy that you're looking for. Who played? Let me see if I can blow him up.
Come here, Austin.
Oh, no.
You can even zoom in. I'll figure it out. Oh, that's Elvis.
Yeah.
Is he a new cat? Because I kind of like that, right? Like they do that a lot when it's such an iconic person. They can't throw Brad Pitt as Elvis because you'll be like, nah, that's fucking Brad Pitt. But you'll kind of grab a newbie, and then this poor kid will be known for Elvis as the rest of his life. But
probably so. But you know what's crazy? He could probably also play a young Buster Posey.
Oh yeah. No, he's got just kind of who's the Shawn Mendes or something, a little new heartthrob. He kind of looks like that. Kind of looks like all of it.
This guy's 30.
I don't know if this is a hot take either. I don't think it's as hot. I say I don't like the Beatles and everyone gets really mad. But I really don't like Elvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's nothing screaming to me. Not a single song calls to me.
That's crazy.
Johnny Cash, it's not an era thing where we know I have era issues.
Yeah.
Because I like Johnny Cash, I like jazz, I love Ray Charles. I could do old shit. in middle ground shit, I'll fucking listen to Simon Garfunkel, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing Elvis am I ever once turned on my music. Not once.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm a giant Elvis fan, but there are definitely some Elvis songs that I'm about.
I'd rather go with Little Richard. I kind of wish Little Richard was more of a thing.
Well, hey, it's Pride Month, so Little Richard can be a thing all this month.
Well, just like there was some. We'll get to the topic, I promise, people. There was some kids movie that's like a weird cartoony movie, but it's not a cartoon, and Little Richard was in it. And it's just this faintest memory of me being like 8. And he's fucking singing what up, bada, booda, booda, boom, bing, you know?
Is he in...
It's like a... Probably...
Is he in the Pee Wee Herman movie?
No. I mean, he might be, but that's not what I'm thinking. But it's like a C-list, come on at 10:30 in the morning Disney movie type shit. Probably made in the 80s and failed and then showed a lot in the 90s. That would be my guess. I feel like they're walking around in a book or something. Like that's the premise. But again, literally 8-year-old Mike memory.
All right, we're about to find out what's up with...
And I think since that time, what up, bada, booda, bada, bang, boom, I've loved it.
As an actor, he was in Magic School Bus.
This cartoon.
Yeah.
No, it's his face for sure.
His face.
Like it's him.
He was in a Baywatch. He was in a Full House. He was in the Last Action Hero.
Probably before Full House, but around that vibe. And it is like kind of a Disney-ish movie, but I swear we had on VHS. There's a couple movies that were just like...
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures TV series.
Nah. It was like a very kids movie where like... you know how Tom Hanks goes through history and Forrest Gump's like a part of each history?
Yeah.
There's like some kid that's a part of like each fairy tale kind of thing, I think. You know what I mean? Like he's talking to Mother Goose, and then he's talking to... 3 Blind Mice, and then he's talking to the cow that jumped over the moon, and then Little Richard's what up, I am booming in a forest for some reason.
That's a really good question. We have to throw this one to the audience. Bustin' Loose he was in, but that's a TV series. I don't know.
Maybe it was a fake Little Richard singing what up, I am boom. You know what I mean? Like a mini kids parody.
I know we're making excellent radio right here.
Yeah, I mean, I assume I haven't looked at our demographics, but I assume a lot of our listeners are around my age still, as they were 10 years ago. They're around my age, so now they're probably around my age. Someone out there's got to watch this stupid movie.
We're just gonna have to table this one. We'll come back to it.
All right, real topic of the day.
I have no idea.
What we need is what's the big table that Batman and Superman sit at? Justice League? I know that's the name of the movie, but what do they call themselves?
I think they call themselves the Justice League.
All right, so we need a Justice League of Strength.
Okay.
And I know that all these powerlifters out there are so greedy and selfish. Not you powerlifters, but the businessmen powerlifters. So we all know often the higher-up CEOs are scum of the earth, right? We can all just say that, right? Yeah. Not everyone. I'm sure there's a lovely CEO out there somewhere, but majority of these CEOs out there are scum of the earth. So then you mix in social media, which we already know attracts scum of the earth, and then you, just absolutely is succubus to everyone's self-esteem, integrity, morality, all that. Then you throw in fitness, which is much of the same, right? So now we take these CEOs of fitness social media people, and so I understand that they don't believe in maybe teamwork or tides rising all ships type mentality, or the African proverb that I just found, which is something I believed a long time, but they put it so beautifully, where if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. Right. Which I fucking love. May even get tatted on my head. We'll see how much I love it.
Alrighty.
This 6-week span here, from end of May into June, has every strength event that matters, right? Besides one.
Basically,
yeah. Besides weightlifting in the Olympics, which is getting canceled, and the Arnold. which I don't even know anymore when things are in the schedule because COVID fucked everything up. I think things are going back to normal schedule now. So I would imagine Arnold will be in March. LA Fit Expo was last week, but it's going to go back to January. We got the CrossFit Games semifinals, and I don't care for all you ignorant assholes that think CrossFit sucks. It's fucking cool. It's a barbell, and it's something that's helped us all. So whether you want to admit it or not, it's helped you. World's Strongest Man, obviously gaining a shit ton of popularity over the years with real fucking crazy talent, content. They're creating content. They're being in movies. They're doing sponsorships. They're starting companies. These strong men are becoming top-level icons in fitness, where back in the day they were kind of not frowned upon, but shoved in the corner. They're the little stepbrothers. USAPL Nationals, which is the first one, I think the very first one non-IPF affiliated, right?
Yeah, Raw Nationals.
Yeah, so that we're going to that next week, and so we'll see what the vibe is there. But I have a feeling the vibe is going to be high. I think it'll be affected by the IPF branch off, but I don't think it's going to ruin it by any means because there's so many good lifters that stayed. After this one, we'll see what happens, right? Because they're doing the Pro Series and there's all these different things. The following week after that is USPA Nationals, which I don't think's ever been as big as the USAPL Nationals, but still very legitimate and still a big part of powerlifting. If you have to branch things off now, Powerlifting America kind of threw a wrench in the gears, but for a second there, we almost had it locked into semi-legitimacy, where we had drug-tested USAPL.
Yeah. We
had the USPA, if you like deadlift bars and kind of knee sleeve-ish type crowd.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to go all-time, you're going WRPF monolift knee wraps. It was almost like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, multiple of these feds allow other things. You can do single-ply and USAPL, but we kind of had these lanes. We just need lanes. We don't need strict walls. We just need some lanes that will help guide us somewhere. So we almost had that. And then obviously the IPF and stuff fucked it up. But the USPA is still a very legitimate federation. A lot of great lifters. Their rules are good. Their judging's good, right? It's consistent. USAPL, consistent. WRPF, pretty consistent considering it's like often when you go the big of the big, as history has shown us, and many a federation, geared lifting or otherwise, it gets a little wonky, right? Because you want to see bigger lifts. It gets scarier. You want to give green lights.
Yep.
If you're a judge or a human, you want to give green lights, and so things get a little weird. But so far, to my knowledge, what I've seen from the vein of powerlifting, the pulse, and my own eyes, WRPF's doing a pretty decent job there. So we have 3 things killing it. USPA is one of them. So we got 6 weeks where all cool strength shit is going on, overlapping each other.
Yeah.
And, like, I understand that the USPA and the USAPL probably aren't having meetings every day saying, hey, man, you know, how can we help each other? But, like, there's almost no reason why they shouldn't. Like, I've never seen any marketing from either of those companies trying to entice the other side.
That's a fair point.
You know what I mean? Like we've talked about in our own meetings, and many marketers talk about, like giving value to your own niche. And now that USPA and USAPL are pretty fucking well established, they can just value their own lifters. People, you know, like they don't need to, oh my God, we need to grab 10% of WRPF or we're going to fail. Like, no, you just make your fed better and people will come. You make your fed better, people will come. And they are different, right? A lot of it is cool, again, those lanes where deadlift bar, oh, you know where to go lift. Right. Oh, you want to do really drug tested? Oh, you know where to go lift. Oh, you don't want to walk out? You really want to go big weights, knee wrap, monolift? You know where to go to lift. It's not like they're like indirect competitors.
Yeah, and I think that part of the IPF thing with USAPL is a lot of people found it prestigious because it went to an international competition. Yeah. But most people had no shot at going to an international competition.
For sure not.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how that rationalizes. If people go, well, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still about it because of the organization and the way it's run, and I don't really care about the international competition that I have no shot at anyway.
Yeah. But we have a couple champions, last year IPF champions, choose in the USAPL. So obviously they don't care that much either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I was in any of their shoes. It's kind of hard to say. And I even think they don't know, right? Like, you kind of weigh your jelly beans, but because it's the first year, you don't know how it's going to shake out.
Yeah.
Right? USAPL is supposedly adding a bunch of money in this Pro Series, so I understand wanting to go there, right? Like, USAPL, I don't want to say dominates the IPF, but they do very well at the IPF historically. So the USAPL is competitive in its own. You know, our top 3 in every category, top 5 in every category are very top 20 are very strong, but top 3 to 5 in each weight class, both ladies and dudes, are very good. And so it's still like competition. It's not like you're showing up and shitting on folks.
Yeah.
So they still get the competition edge. Now there's money. I don't know. And I don't know what Pro America does. You know, we heard their nationals was cool, but no audience.
They intentionally no audience?
I don't know, because it was Texas. I don't think it was.
No, I guess it wouldn't be then.
Yeah, I don't know. And it was semi-recent. I don't really know the whole story.
I don't know when they had it, and I don't know who competed.
It was within the last 6 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, it was very soon. So we'll see where that pans out to head there. There's still some people competing for the Virgin Island. I'm going to go compete for Guam. I didn't even know Guam's American. I know that's going to sound really ignorant.
Yeah, it's the U.S. territory of Guam.
Yeah. I knew that but didn't know that kind of thing. Because you always think about like Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we shipped to Guam.
Yeah, I know, but like you don't. Yeah, that's what made me think about it all this week.
Yeah.
And maybe I knew but didn't think about it ever. Because you think about Puerto Rico and you obviously think about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really. I've never thought about Guam. It's not a place like, oh, let me go vacate to Guam.
I think that I maybe experienced it more because I grew up pretty close to a military base, and people had been to or were going to Guam.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not at its peak popularity right now.
Yeah, right, not right at the moment.
It's not in the news clip.
So the question is, why can't these people talk to each other and spread the wealth out over the course of a year? And I think part of it, I don't know, like with World's Strongest Man, I don't really know, because essentially they did it leading into Labor Day weekend this year. Last year it was in June. It was a little later, and it was hot as hell here.
But they travel.
Travel.
So like it's been in South Africa, which has opposite seasons to us. And they've always done it like June-ish.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? So like weather's not the thing.
Yeah, weather is not the thing. There and that timing, the time of year, I don't know, around like the beginning of summer vacations or whatever. There were people here from the UK. We had people who came into the gym actually who were from the UK.
A layered question on top of this that you and I have had too, because obviously World's Strongest Man was blocks from our gym and where we live. We wondered how many people traveled to see it. And this was like not technically, but legitimately the first year here. They had it here last year, but there was nothing going on. It wasn't promoted. It was kind of whatever. But this year was cool. You know, we went one day. I thought it was really cool. And it had tons of room to build. Obviously, they're moving and they travel all the time, so they don't get to build it. But it could be really cool. Or it is cool. Could have been cooler. But how many people travel here for that?
Mm-hmm.
And then my other question is how many people travel in general for these things? Like if you don't have someone directly competing, like friend, training partner, client, coach, are you traveling to any of those that I mentioned? And then on top of that, my question is, how many people even care about sports they don't compete in? I like the barbell. I like fitness. I like, I like strength. I like it all. So like I've loosely followed CrossFit, strongman, even American weightlifting. I don't know overseas that much, even though I know the best of the best. And then powerlifting, I followed it for 10 years, all of them.
Yeah.
Almost as much as I would follow the NBA or something. But I don't know if powerlifters just watch powerlifting and only watch maybe even deeper. They might only watch their fed.
So what you're saying is that the crossover audience is so small that it doesn't really matter.
Maybe.
These
I don't know.
Are all going on at the same time. It only matters to us because we're in the industry.
Well, maybe, or like my friends are more like me. Like you loosely follow it. Bart loosely follows them all. Omar loosely follows them all. Alan loosely follows them all. Like we enjoy, but that's also probably maybe part of the tie-in why we're similar content creators, because we enjoy the barbell. I'm not Mr. USAPL powerlifter.
Right. That could be. I talked to someone who was in town. Who came from about an hour away, and was staying for a couple of days, and was like doing the Sacramento experience. Came with like wife and family, and he was essentially watching the stuff, and wife and kids were doing other things while he was watching. The events are not that long, and, and there's a break in between and whatever. So I mean, if you're they held things very early here, I think, because of the fear of heat, and the heat really didn't manifest.
Yeah, luckily. But I think that's any event, right? Like if you go to the Arnold, or you go, even us when we go to the USAPL Nationals, like, sorry fam, we're not going to be sitting at the convention center all day.
No.
We're gonna go watch Avilia in the morning. We'll probably go grab lunch. Maybe we'll work out. Maybe we'll walk the strip. You know,
Yeah.
like you do the event that you want to do, and then you kind of bounce around and you do the city.
Yeah.
Like at least for me, I don't travel a lot for vacation, but that's what I would do. I would find like a concert or an event, and I would choose that city based on that, and I would spend 50 to 70% of the time food and enjoying the city and the culture, and then 30 to 40% doing the event.
Yeah, I think another thing that that we noted last week was that we sort of expected more of the people who came into town to be in gyms, and I think that the reality is that didn't happen much, and I hear it didn't happen much with Allen's, which is much more closely from a branding standpoint aligned with Strongman than we are.
But location-wise, a little deeper.
Location-wise, a little bit further away. But I think that the expectation for these expos and stuff kind of gets set around like the Olympia and the Arnold, where if powerlifters come in, they go to the gyms in Columbus or they go to the gyms in Vegas.
Yeah, that's what makes
some of them have a name that have sort of an international presence.
Yeah.
The gyms in those places.
That's what makes me think not that many people traveled here.
It's a possibility.
Because I would imagine, and maybe this is just my weird marketing head or maybe even my ego. I was like, more people know about 3rd Street, 50% Facts, Silent Mike, blah, 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 not in Sacramento.
I think
right?
That's true.
So like if you're enough of a strongman fan that you're traveling to World's Strongest Man, chances are you probably heard of 3rd Street. Or chances are higher.
Yeah.
Rather than the local crowd that's just kind of in between and they saw it on Sacramento Fox News that World's Strongest Man's in town, right?
Yeah.
They just kind of moseyed down there because they kind of like to lift weights. Or they watch Game of Thrones and know Thor was in town, even though he wasn't. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Since we switched hosting, I can see more information around cities. And, like, our number one listening place in the whole world is Sacramento, which shocks me. Yeah.
What are you bastards doing? Come work out.
Yeah, why aren't you here?
Yeah.
Why aren't you here?
I don't know. That is weird.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that.
I know our Instagram, the gym's Instagram in particular, is like 6% Sacramento, which is very high. Like, it's on my personal, it's like LA, New York, the typical shit, Chicago, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But in my eyes, that's what made me think everyone at the event was from Sacramento.
Yeah, I don't think
not
everyone,
but you know what I mean. A
lot.
higher percentage, higher percentage than if you go to the Arnold. If you go to the Arnold, ain't nobody from Columbus.
Yeah,
there's a couple of Ohio State guys, and that's it.
Yeah, this guy that I was talking to, he said, "Oh, where is it next year?" And I said, "Well, it's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina next year.
Yeah,
it will be in Sacramento again one time because contractually they specified that, but they did not specify that it would be 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So it'll be back here at some point, but Myrtle Beach, South Carolina." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I'd go to that."
I would too, actually. Though I've heard Myrtle Beach is pretty cool.
But then he also said, "But we're going to try to be living in South Carolina."
Well,
then it's like, well, okay, so it's a neighborhood play. Then again, I don't know.
Yeah, that's much different. Yeah, I've heard Myrtle Beach is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was fine. We had a couple guests, and it was cool going. But like same with the CrossFit Games. Like obviously, all my travel though, again, I don't vacation a lot. All my travel is always for work, and so like I went to the CrossFit Games for 5-6 years in a row. But it was LA, so it was easy. But even this year, I'm contemplating going. Never been to Wisconsin.
Yeah,
our boys from Caffeine and Kilos go.
Yeah,
and I do. I like strength. I like expos sometimes. I don't like to do 7 a year, but
I think that what we're done with is the booth part of expos.
Yeah, I don't want to work. Like I set up and broke down every booth ever. That's not fun.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that. But I would, and it's also different when it's your own shit. If we're selling our own apparel, I'll probably be more excited to set up our booth and make it look dope.
Maybe so.
But. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, maybe you guys hop on our Discord, 50percentfacts.com. You can join our Discord. It's free. It's just a community thing. You get exclusives on apparel, discounts, like-minded community. We're all there, and maybe we can start a discussion there if you guys follow anything other than... Because actually, I did a poll on my Instagram. I said, how many people even semi-closely follow Strongman? It was less than 50%.
Yeah.
Which I found surprising.
Yeah, because it's a strength sport in which... some people get paid to compete.
It's arguably, I think you could argue it's the most popular strength sport in the world.
Yeah, almost has to be.
Right?
Yeah.
CrossFit maybe but it's hard to tell with CrossFit because their niche is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're fanatics.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like the depth is insane there of loyalty.
Yeah.
Where like strongmen and stuff, like CrossFitters, I wouldn't be surprised. Going back to one of my questions, I wouldn't be surprised if CrossFitters don't give a fuck, don't know a single powerlifter's name.
Possibly.
That surprises me less. Where, and again, maybe it's just because the era I grew up in the strength game. But if you're a powerlifter, I think you should know some of the CrossFitters' names. They're fucking strong.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. Matt Frazier was a junior level, national level weightlifter. You know, like that stuff's. It's like a story to me. Like, we all are like this. It's a small world. Make it small. Don't make it smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Make it big. I meant. You know what I mean?
I mostly only follow CrossFit people that I have actually had interactions with.
Yeah, which is fine though too. But you generally know who fucking Rich Froning is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like yeah. Like, it's different. Like, I don't know, and I think Rich Froning should know who Russell Orhe is. I really do, and Jamal Brown. You know, they should know Dan Green. They should know these things. I think if you want to pretend to be like this fitness professional enthusiast, you can be an expert in something small. Like, you could be the bodybuilding guy or the bicep guy, even if you really want. Maybe a certain joint over another joint guy if you really want to be. The knee over, you know. But you should be able to have a pretty broad scope of shit. Am I going to get a bodybuilder to the Olympia? Probably not. But could I get someone like stage shredded? Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I have the knowledge, I have the experience. You know what I mean?
Local show action.
Yeah, and depending on their genetics and who knows, like, I could probably make them look okay. You know, like, I've learned enough, read enough, known enough, right? Like, I can write a CrossFit WOD. Like,
yeah,
our stuff's already so niche. It's not like we work in NASA. Mm-hmm. And you got to do the math on how fast we're going, and I have to build the rockets, and Sam's got to fly the ship. You know, like, it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about barbell strength in the body. The variable is the human, and they don't change. It's the stimulus that kind of changes. So you should have a general grasp on all of this. And I think it's weird if you niche yourself and you have no clue and no care.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Well, a thing I've been thinking about relative to this, and we're not going to get into the actual controversy that is going on now, even though that is a popular thing to do. But I've been thinking about competitive formats and why they exist the way they exist.
Yeah.
And in World's Strongest Man, they compete in the basically in the semis, the qualifying rounds, in groups.
Do we know how? I know we know, meaning you smart folks out there, but do you or I know how exactly you even qualify for World's Strongest Man? I know it's invite-ish.
Yeah, and there's the Giants Live series.
Okay, so yeah, if you like get top 5 in the Giants,
but the two Rogue events don't
count. Arnold's separate,
and Brian Shaw's new
Yeah.
thing I think does not count.
Yeah, because I was wondering if it's like a point system, like bodybuilding.
I believe it is a point system based on placement.
Okay. Because what you're going at with the group stages leading into the finals is similar, but not similar to CrossFit. And when you brought up this question, CrossFit also popped in my head.
Yeah, the question that I had is, why do they compete against a group instead of competing as a group of 30?
When they're doing the exact same events.
When they're doing exactly the same events. I don't understand that, because, like, yeah, I mean that they don't vary the weights. They're all doing the same thing.
Right.
And
then it's just shit of the luck. And you and I talked about off air, where you go to the World Cup qualifiers and there's a round robin placement before you go into bracket play.
Yeah.
Before you go into single elimination, you're going to play 3 games, and then your power rankings versus the 4 teams in your group to decide where you sit in the bracket. That makes total sense to me, because we're head to head.
Right.
Right. CrossFit doesn't make sense to me either, but it's not the same as yours. So CrossFit goes open. Everyone does the exact same workouts, top 100 or whatever in your region. Then you get to go to semifinals, which is in person, different regions, and they have different named games now. Basically, other companies partnered with CrossFit, and they do the semifinals, like the Granite Games, et cetera, et cetera. But then, so you have the whatever, I don't know the number, sorry, CrossFitters, but it's 20, 30 folks, the best in that region, go head-to-head in person. And then the top, depending on population, which I actually think is kind of cool, depending on population of that region, you know, if you're highly populated, then you get like top 5. If it's less populated, it's like top 3, go to the games. But in those semifinals, the different games, you're all doing different events.
Yeah.
That's weird too, though, right?
That's really weird too.
Especially in something like strong in powerlifting, it wouldn't be, right? Because like it's all whatever. Like if you're going group head to head, because you're doing the same shit. But like CrossFit or strongman, it would be weird to do different things also. Because what if you get in A group and I'm B group, and you're better at endurance, I'm better at strength, and then whatever random events you and I get are counter or help us. You know what I mean? Then it's like too much. We call it RNG. I don't know what it stands for, but it basically means randomness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a term for variables, like random variables.
Okay. So
too much RNG. It's
too much
gamer
RNG.
nerd talk.
So if the idea of grouping them, strongman competitors, is that the audience can, within a particular group, have some idea who's winning and losing or whatever, I think that's a waste of time because people don't understand anyway.
Yeah, it's like a scarcity marketing move.
It's poorly communicated anyway. If I have any real criticism as a spectator for the live show, it is very difficult to see unless you're paying the $1,400 VIP.
Back in the day, they had bleachers.
Yeah, but
how do they not go bleachers 2 sides and then standing 2 sides? It's going to look cool on camera because they're going to be packed, and then everyone's going to be able to see. And they're not expensive to rent.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It is very difficult to see unless you're super tall. We went with on Thursday. We went with our gym manager Kyle, who is 6'5". Yeah, he's perfectly capable of seeing, but the other 3 of us are
or elevate it, and obviously that's hard to do because you're using really strong implements, and, so it's hard to elevate the athletes.
Yeah, and also they're trying to take advantage of the scenery of wherever they are.
But if you go bleachers, like exactly where they were, so we have what's it called even? Capitol Bridge? I don't even know what our bridge is called.
It's a Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge.
Yeah, it's 3 blocks from here.
Which doesn't make sense because Tower shit's on the other side, in my head.
Well,
like our famous Tower Theater.
Yeah.
And Tower Record, right? Like that's on the other side of shit.
Yeah.
So it confuses my brain. That's why I call it Capitol Bridge because it's in front of the Capitol. But obviously,
and Capitol Avenue runs into it. But at the same time,
regardless, we have like a pseudo famous bridge. Obviously, it ain't the Golden Gate, but we got our bridge, and that leads into a big road, into a cool lawn setting.
The Capitol Mall
slams you into the Capitol, and so that's where the games were. And so on one end you have the cool bridge and like the water and this horizon look, and then on one end you have the Capitol. But on either side of that, you just have skyscrapers.
Right.
So they could have easily thrown bleachers on the skyscraper side and not lost any effect.
Yeah.
I wonder what the group play, and I haven't watched Strongman on TV in a while because I normally just get updates on YouTube or like the Rogue Invitational. I watch it all on YouTube or Instagram, or lately we've been live. I wonder if the group play plays into like episodes.
I'm sure it does,
because that makes some sense.
Yeah, World's Strongest Man was conceived as a made-for-television event from the beginning.
Yeah, it's not even a sport.
So I kind of get that, but at the same time,
in person it makes no sense, and by score it makes no sense.
Yeah, and the idea that people can be competing in different groups when they should be competing against each other, it confuses me.
So that's why I asked if the point system to qualify. So if you qualify and you already have a ranking going in, even UFC or whatever, right? You have like a ranking per class, then the groups make more sense to me, because it would push you to go harder in the quote-unquote off-season or the other games to be high-ranked, so then in your group you have lower ranks against you.
Yeah, and I guess that there's a obviously an issue of if someone was a lower qualifier competing against just a bunch of lower qualifiers in a group,
right,
then it might not be that interesting to watch. But you never know, because Strongman is weird in that you can be not the best at something and still end up winning the whole thing.
Right, because it's so variable. You can get first in stones and then suck a deadlift, and who knows what happens.
Right.
But that's why I thought, like, if they have a clearer ranking system in a season or a series to build up to World Strongman, and then 1 in 16, 2 in 15, 3 in 14, those are all grouped like that, like any other tournament that's been in any sport for thousands of years,
right,
then it makes sense. Because I worked so hard in the offseason to come in ranked number 1 that I deserve to go against a lesser guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that would make sense. But if they don't have that, then I don't know. Like, how do they make the groups? They coin flip?
I don't know.
Because then there's some room, and I don't want to talk no shit. I don't know nobody, but there's some room for some, foul play. right? You put your favorite guy against the shitty guys, or you know what events are going where.
I wasn't able to find any information on how that decision is made. So that tells me that there is not the level of transparency there might be.
That's like the issue with all these sports, right? Like basketball, and there's obviously referees, and there's been controversy, and there's been refs caught for gambling, and huge controversy here in Sacramento because all the sad Kings fans. But the truth is, you either put the fucking ball in the hoop or you don't. Like, a ref can manipulate a game, but if you're straight out better, you're not going to lose. Like, that's just basketball. But in strongman, like we said, there's no transparency. So if you're manipulating events and groups and timing and all these things, like, shit, they could make me world's strongest man if they want to choose the right event, right?
Yeah, and part of it, I think, too,
they can't. Because someone's going to talk shit. That's a lot of manipulating, but you get my point.
Because they're not using a coefficient, too. They're using a point system and not a coefficient.
Yeah.
I think that makes a difference, too, when you're trying to compete across groups. Because if you think about it, like, back in the day when there were a bunch of meets here, we very seldom ran meets where there were awards per weight class. We used
overalls,
weight groupings.
Yeah. That's by federation, I think, now. Like, each fed has their own standard of winners.
But people would not be lifting head-to-head with each other. And if you were in a heavier weight class, you would have a little bit more of an advantage to figure out what you needed to do to win your class.
Yeah, because you're at the end.
Because you're at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's how they set up USAPL Nats in one sense, where like it's nighttime, they call it prime time, so they bring the top 5 or 10 qualifying totals, I believe. Even though that might be semi-invitational, it might not be pure by totals, I don't know. And then they make it's one platform, I think, versus like 2 or 3. They're running all day. All the attention's on you, so you get a little bit extra hype, a little bit extra attention. But then you're also at the end of the day, so if there is someone that's wilding out in the earlier sessions that you are competing against, you can game plan a little bit better. But like that instance, you have qualified to earn the spot in prime time. So I think it's cool. You get a slight advantage. Mm-hmm. Again, like, it's a little bit like my basketball analogy. It's not like, oh, I know Jim pulled 700. I got to pull 750 to win. But if my PR is 600, I ain't just going to whip out 750. I'm either going to lift the weight or I'm not.
Right.
So I get the advantage of kind of gaming my total around in my attempts, but you can't really cheat it.
No, that's true. Another thing I was thinking about is the difference between the way USA Weightlifting handles the competitive format versus powerlifting. And powerlifting used to be more similar to that. There used to be the moving bar.
Yeah.
You know, where
it's just too hard in powerlifting, I think.
No, I think it's very much too hard, but I don't know
switch.
why. I'm not sure exactly why weightlifting still uses the method that it uses, that you could potentially have to follow yourself.
I think they're just used to shorter rest breaks too, and like the overall load you're moving is still less than maximal, right?
Yeah.
Like no one's cleaning more than they squat.
Yeah.
So like the effort's not there, the eccentric isn't there.
Yeah.
Like physiologically, it kind of makes sense. And you still, even if you follow yourself, I don't know what the time is, but you still get 3 minutes.
It's faster, obviously, but there's also only 2 competitive lifts.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole day's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much of, but even them, some of it's hard to say because some of it probably is money driven, but they did like the open series. And so there was a lot of different like national level style meets in the USA weightlifting, which is cool. But then like, what does it count? It goes back to we've joked about it for 10 years online of like your local county weight class, age group, bench press record. No one gives a fuck. Right. And so like, if you want to compete at local meets, I highly encourage it. Have fun, hit your own PRs, but don't be putting it on your Instagram. No one gives a fuck. And so if we have too many of these series or anything, that's kind of the same idea. We need lanes here. Like, why does it matter? Why doesn't it matter? Is USAPL Raw Nationals champion cool?
Yeah.
Still?
Probably.
But half of them are in Pro America, or you know what I mean? So like half the high-end talent.
Yeah,
that's where it starts. Like, I just don't want the sport to get more diluted.
Yeah, well, that's definitely what's happened.
Yeah, and it's been diluted, but it used to be at least natty versus not natty diluted.
Yeah.
And then knee sleeves. Ish. And then it became knee sleeves more popular, which is fine.
Yeah.
There's just more and more wrinkles.
Like it's single ply used to dominate everything.
Yeah, I thought it was making a little comeback. I might have been wrong. It still might, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Crotcheck. Bryce was doing, a lot of it. He still does raw and both, but single ply is cool. It is cool.
I have to admit that I'm a little jazzed up about going to the USAPL Raw Nationals. Yeah, I haven't been to a Nationals meet in forever and ever.
I've never been.
Really?
I know someone who's really jazzed.
Who?
Seabass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's jazzed.
Our intern.
Yeah, he's jazzed. I don't think he's been to Vegas.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I don't think he's ever been to a big powerlifting meet. He's been to like the biggest local ones or some ones in the Bay and stuff that are really popping, but not like this. He's a fan of the sport, which is cool. My old jaded self, I get to like live through him.
I went to when they used to do men's nationals separately. I went to that one years ago.
That's fucked up. We won't stand.
It was a smaller group. It was not exciting.
I think it's gonna be fun.
It was really not exciting.
It's
but
Vegas. It's the first big one after COVID. Like I think all of it's gonna be fun. I'm pseudo excited as well.
Then I've seen the USAPL meets at the Arnold.
Yeah,
and
those are popping.
Those are popping.
Yeah, those are fun.
Very exciting. It's like something happened in between there. I went to the weightlifting meet which is really just a local meet that they have at the Arnold. It's a snore.
Yeah, I think it's slowly ramping up.
I mean, at least especially the first couple of years I went to. I think it's
slowly
ramping
up. Yeah, I mean, all of it's still whatever, right? Because you're like, it's kind of this powerlifting somewhere in between fucking WWE and tennis, right? Like we still don't know where we sit in terms of like when you cheer, when you don't. Some people are quiet, some people are screaming, you know, like, and the USAPL has turned it up a little bit. I think they realize that it can't be so quiet because it's actually awkward. Weightlifting, it's kind of quiet and you kind of need to be because you're really fucking concentrating on throwing maximal weights over your fucking face. But I think it'll be good. Vegas will be good. Energy's gonna be good because people are getting together again. Like as much as you and I kind of tapped out because we were building the gym, building the podcast, and all that. I think a lot of people tapped out because the events weren't going on in COVID. So a lot of people will be like a little bit of a strength reunion for a lot of folks.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I also went to APF Senior Nationals a couple of years, and those were a freak show. Yeah, they were entirely a freak show.
That's what I imagine is really popping at these huge paid meets now. You know, you just got literally the best in the world throwing out for $40,000, like real money.
Yeah,
probably be fun.
I saw fights in the warm up rooms.
Yeah, I think that's chilled out. I don't know if that's as much part of the sport anymore. Or syringes in the trash can or on the floor. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think that's everywhere. As much a part of the game anymore.
Yeah, well, hopefully not USAPL. I mean, if I find a syringe in the bathroom, USAPL,
that's the one time
Nationals, I'm going to be talking to somebody.
Yeah, I'll definitely start my drama YouTube on that.
Yeah.
That's like so much evidence in my face, I got to make a video.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen. But even at the bigger events where substances may be used to enhance performance, I don't think it's as... I think people are a little more aware and polite.
Well, but we're also not interfacing with those federations as much.
Yeah, they're different feds for sure. They're different feds. That's my point. I think WRPF, has probably done the best job to take the freaks and allow them to do the best, be the absolute best, lift the most absolute weight while still sticking to some legitimacy. Feds have been in rotation because of bad judging and bad spotting and bad meets and right, and the WRPF seems to have locked it in with good judges and allowing the best of the best, like the Dan Bells and the Hunter Hendersons, to really smash fucking weights.
Yeah, I spoke to our longtime friend Juan John over the weekend at Marcus's baby shower, and he's actually a legitimately licensed WRPF judge.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, back in the day, the meets that we had, there weren't that many actual.
Yeah, I think you guys made me take a test.
Probably.
Yeah,
maybe.
SPF, not a piss test, but a SPF drug test.
I did the APF test. I never had to do the SPF one because I had the SPF.
But it's all basic as shit.
Yeah. We're gonna do something fun next week. We'll have one more episode this week, shorty. But next week we'll be gone. I mean, we'll be here. I mean, you'll not notice, but
digitally we'll be here.
Digitally we'll be here. But that's about all I got for today.
Yeah, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, 3sb.co. Check it out for all your apparel. 3rd Street Barbell, if you're in Northern California, come join the gym. Very least, come say what's up. grab a free day pass on the podcast. We'll front your bill. Come have a good time. Brand new episode every Wednesday and Friday. If you're in Vegas, say what's up. And otherwise, we will catch you Friday.
I am at the Jim McD on all the social media. This show is 50% Facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% Facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network, which is about to grow in the next couple of weeks here. And we'll talk to you Friday.